Guys, welcome back to Teaching for Life. In today's video, we're going to be sharing about 7 habits of highly effective people. And in today's video, what is this video all about? You guys may be thinking. But in this video, we're just sharing about how successful people think. That's practically what I'm trying to share about. So, in today's video, I'm just going to try to change the way you think in every situation in your life. So, if you guys listen to this video, you guys are going to be successful. So just hang in there and let's get into the video. Alright, so habit number 1 is being proactive. And what does be proactive mean? Being proactive is actually visualizing your dream. That's what being proactive. When you want to be proactive, you have to be creative. That's kind of what it means. And when you want to be proactive, first you got to think about what are you trying to achieve here. It doesn't have to be like living in a big house or achieving $1 million in 1 year or making so much money. It can be just so simple. Let's say if your dream was to actually brush your teeth. Let's say if you did not know how to use your hands properly and not be able to brush your teeth. And then you're going to be proactive by writing down a plan. What am I going to do? Step 1, hold the toothbrush properly. Step 2, put toothpaste on the toothbrush, and then etc. So that's how highly effective people think. They have a plan. They don't just dig into it so soon. Just like me. Before I even started click on the play button for this video, I had to make a plan of what am I actually going to share about. So I was being proactive of what I'm going to share about, because I did not just come and make the video straight away. I did not come and make the video straight away, or else I didn't even know what I had to say. So I had to prepare. That's what the habit number 1 means. You have to prepare. You cannot just dig into something so soon without even knowing. It's like playing soccer, but you don't even know how to play. I mean, it just makes no sense. So that's why you have to write down a plan, be proactive, and then you write number 1, number 2, number 3, and then follow those steps, and then you can be a totally great person. Or if you look on YouTube, how to do how to do kiki uppies, or how to do rainbow flicks, and then it shows you all the steps. So that's how being proactive means. So this habit number 1 means that don't dig into stuff so soon. So I hope you guys really understand what that habit number 1 means. And let's move on to habit number 2. Alright, so for habit number 2, put first things first. You might hear that a bit weirdly, but put first things first. And what does this habit number 2 mean? This habit number 2 is that find your priorities. That's just what number 2 means. First, put first things first. And how do we put first things first? You guys may be wondering. Well, the way we put first things first is we buy a house before we buy a car. I mean, if you buy a car, then you're going to have to sleep in the car, which is going to be very uncomfortable. So, you say, okay, I'm going to buy the house before I buy the car. I put my priorities first before I put other ones. You put the most important one first, then the second, and the one that comes after that, you can do that again and again and again. So that's how, and the only way you guys will be able to master this is if you guys are really organized, because this takes a bit of organization. Finding your priority, because if you do not know what your priority is, then tough luck. Things are not going to happen so well like you are really expecting. So that's why put your habits first. Put first things first. So I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say maybe I wanted to buy a new PS5 for Christmas, and let's say there was something way more important. Let's just say that a chocolate bar was way more important than a PS4. And then I had to buy the chocolate first before I buy the PS4, because the chocolate is my priority in this example, and the PS5 is the want. The reason why I want a PS5 in this example is just to make me happy, while buying the chocolate here is to keep me alive. So I'd rather be alive than being happy with just PS5. So that's what that example means. Put your priorities first. Put the most important thing, then put the other important thing that you want. If it means a lot to you. So that's why it's very, very important. So you cannot pay so much school fees when you don't even have a house. Dang, that's very, very bad idea. I mean, you buy the house first before you pay school fees for your child, and that's how it works. So that's what habit number 2 is all about. Habit number 2 is all about putting your priorities first, finding your priority. That's what this is all about. So I hope you guys really understand what habit number 2 means. Put people first. I mean, put first things first. So now let's move on to habit number 3. All right, for habit number 3, what habit number 3 says is that seek first to understand, then be understood. What does this mean? Basically, if you understand people, then people will understand you. Because if you don't understand people, then people won't understand you. So that's what this one is all about. If you have good listening skills, then this will be a piece of cake for you. Because this is all about listening skills. In order to understand someone, you have to listen to what he actually says. Because people who fail to do this is because they don't like to listen. They think what they're saying is actually always right, which in this case, it isn't. So that's why, how can we understand people? How are we able to understand people? The thing is, if I wanted to understand someone, if I knew the person was crying, if I wanted to understand a person was crying, ask this question: why are you crying? It's simple. Just ask the question: why are you crying? Or if the person is happy, why are you happy? If the person is working, why are you working? That's the only way you will understand how the person is feeling and what the person is physically doing. Because when you understand both of these stuff, you will know exactly what the person is doing. And in order to understand exactly what the person is doing is by listening. So let me just give you an example. If I saw someone crying, and then I asked, "Why are you crying?" He's gonna say, he might either say that his brother bullied him, or his friends bullied him, or he fell and cut his knee. Yeah, so that's how I understand. And I just understand the kid over there in that example because he said that he cut his knee. Then that tells me that he's crying because he cut his knee. And that's mission complete. You understood what the person was saying. I understood what the person was saying because I said, "Why are you crying?" And then he said, "I cut my knee." And then that just rings my brain and says, this person is crying because he cut his knee. What am I going to do to help him? So that's what the next one is going to be. So that's why asking questions is also a very big part of this. Because if you don't ask questions, then you will never know what the person is doing, how he feels, and etc. So that's why it's very important to understand people before they will understand you. And let's say if I got a plaster and put it on his knee. Yeah? I got a plaster and put it on his knee. And then, I went back home. The next day, if I fell and cut my knee as well, he won't understand that I'm crying because I cut my knee. Because I helped him yesterday. I understood what the problem was. And now, he's going to understand what the problem is. And he's going to figure it out just like I did the previous day. And then he's going to say, this person is crying because he hurt his knee. And that's how people are able to understand you. If you can understand people, they can understand you. If you can't understand people, then they can never understand you. Never, 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 never. So that's why it's very important that understand people first, then you will be understood. So that's what's very important about this one. So I hope you guys really listened about what habit 3 is, and let's move on to habit 4. All right, we're moving on to habit number 4. Habit number 4 says, sharpen the saw. I mean, you guys may be thinking the real saw that we sharpen it and then you cut wood with it. We're not into woodwork. is totally into a different thing. And now, if you guys want to listen to what this really means, then let's get into it. Alright, so what does sharpening the saw mean? As I was saying, we're not into woodwork. So what does sharpening the saw really mean? Sharpening the saw simply means that preserving and enhancing the greatest asset you have. And what does this mean? It means having a balanced program for self-renewal in the 4 areas of your life, which are named physical, social, emotional, and mental, and spiritual. And as you guys renew yourself to each of these 4 areas, you're going to have real growth in your life. So that's basically what sharpening the saw means. It means that you're preserving and enhancing the greatest balanced asset you have. So think about the greatest balanced asset. So I'm gonna ask you this question: what is your asset? So I want you guys to think about your asset. What is your asset? So in case if you guys are struggling, what asset really means? Asset basically means a useful or valuable thing or person. So let's say if there's something valuable that you really like. Let's say if you guys are really watching my channel most of the time, you may see that I might have a necklace, a golden necklace. Let's say if that was very valuable to me, that without that I wouldn't even live. I mean, I will live, but it's just how I'm really thinking mentally. Anyway, so without that I wouldn't be able to live. And that is my asset because it's something valuable or important to me. Like, you guys may have a company, and company may be your asset, something that's really valuable, something that really means a lot to you. Or maybe your family can be an asset because it's valuable. It feels like when you see them, it feels like money and everything like that. So that's what an asset means. And when you guys know what your asset is, it is very easy to achieve what you want, because when you know what your asset is, you're basically just going to keep doubling it. If you had a company and it made $1 million in 1 year, you might start to make $1 million in 6 months. Since you found out what your asset really was, then you're now doubling. You're now making even more money. So that's what this really means. Habit number 4. So about habit number 4, sharpening the saw. This simply means that you have to find your asset. You need to find what you really love doing and etc. So I hope you guys have really understood what habit number 4 is. And now let's move on to habit number 5. Alright, so since you guys have understood what habit number 4 really meant, now we're going to be moving on to habit number 5. And habit number 5 is Synergize. And what does Synergize mean? I mean, so as I was saying, Synergize is a combine or coordinate the activity 2 or more agents. So what Synergize really means is that a joint effect. And what does a joint effect mean? If it's a joint effect, there's obviously going to be 2, because there's a joint effect when I clap. There's 2 of my hands, and it's creating a joint effect to create like lots of noise. So that's what a joint effect means. So this habit is all about, if you like to work with people, if you like to work as a team, then it will be very easy to understand this. Because let me just say, if I had the business KFC and my brother had the business McDonald's, I'm not saying I actually own KFC, I'm just giving an example. Anyway, so the example, I own KFC and my brother owns McDonald's. Now, if I had a business called KFC, many people were going to the shops, but I wasn't making enough money. I was only making $1,000 per month. And my brother was only making $1,000 per month too. And if I wanted to switch the effect, then me and my brother's business join together to create an effect that the business will even grow even more. So that's what this really means. Basically, a joint effect, when there's a joint effect, like 2 companies try to create a business and then it goes up. like let's say FIFA and EA Sports. FIFA and EA Sports. The game FIFA wasn't created itself. The FIFA company didn't create itself. They needed the help of EA Sports. So, like me owning KFC was like FIFA because FIFA knew that they couldn't make the video game themselves. So, my brother, which is McDonald's, acting as EA Sports, they now join together to create an effect that the game will become even better. So that's what this habit really means. So basically, if you know how to work as a team, then this is going to be very, very simple. And not only working as a team, finding ideas. It'll take a bit of thinking to create a business. Because people who create businesses, they don't do it on their own. They have to create an effect where they gather when they get so much people to help them build it, because they need the builders, they need people who are building lights, they need where water will go running, they need cashiers, they need shopkeepers, they need everything. So they can't do it all by their own. So that's what this habit number 5 really means. Create a joint effect to achieve great things. So thank you guys for really watching Teaching for Life. And if you guys are new to this channel, make sure you guys hit the bell, subscribe, and like. So hit the bell to get notified every single time when I publish a video. And thank you guys for watching. And it's Teaching for Life out.